From time to time I get asked by people that I know, what exactly is the big deal about bike touring? And it's a tough question to answer. Is it the sense of adventure or the freedom, the amazing places that it takes us? Well, yeah, that's all a big part of it. But maybe the best way I can describe it is by comparing it to something like Zen. Now, I'm not some New Age guy with crystals and sage ceremonies and that kind of stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't even do yoga or meditation, although obviously for people who practice those things is very beneficial. But it's bicycle touring that gives me this sense of calm and this focus and the feeling of gratitude, maybe more than anything else in my life. Maybe because it does such a good job of bringing together so many things in one single activity, mind, body, spirit. So let's explore that a little bit, starting with, what does it do for your mind? Do you ever find your thoughts jumping from one worry to the next? Or you find it hard to compete with all those racing narratives going around in your head? And all those thoughts just leave you with nothing but stress. Psychological unease, angst, general unhappiness. Wouldn't it be nice to experience at least moments in your life where your thoughts just took a freaking break? Now that, of course, is the whole idea of meditation. You find your mantra, and you empty your thoughts, and voila. But not everybody is going to sit down and hum Om until enlightenment takes them. Hell, I can't even get into a lotus position. Welcome to one of the great things about bicycle touring. There's something undefinable about that rhythm that you find as you're riding down a gravel path somewhere out in nature. You hear the steady sound of your wheels on the crushed limestone. You hear the bird song, the insects humming in unison, wind in the trees, the drone of a quiet afternoon in nature. This is the bicycle traveler's mantra. It's said that meditation is not about pushing thoughts out of your mind. It's more about letting your thoughts flow until they kind of empty out on their own, until you reach a state of peace. And that's how bicycle touring works. You ride along and all that internal dialogue comes at you, one thought at a time, like a train, each thought like a separate train car, one leading to the next and so on, until the train just runs out of cars. At some point, all your cares have been worried over. There's nothing left but your own peace of mind. Now there's only the sound of nature and the road beneath your tires. This is mindfulness. This is here and now. And day after day on a bike tour, you find yourself smack dab in the here and now. Bicycle touring teaches about acceptance. It's raining, it's cold or hot, you're hungry. You soon discover that it's okay to feel some discomfort. And in that acceptance you find, the rain isn't that bad. The hunger isn't all that uncomfortable. No matter what the problem, that Zen-like acceptance gives you incredible power over your thoughts and feelings. You're no longer vulnerable to petty internal whining. What used to stress you out or anger you or even frighten you become things that you know are solvable. Everything's going to be okay. In bicycle touring, there's also this grace of doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done. There is no procrastination. You can't put off that flat tire or the need for water or rest. There is no later, there's just now. And there's calm in that realization that if something happens, you'll deal with it. You don't have much of a choice. No need for stress or anxiety, just solve the problem as it comes up. And that acceptance leads us to gratitude. When you're hungry and you do finally find a place to eat, or you find shelter from the rain, or a room with air conditioning, you are filled with gratitude. This is definitely not about a sense of entitlement, like simply expecting to have climate control on a hot summer day. This is about having gratitude for the simplest things. Something you might have taken for granted is now something to appreciate as a blessing. Practicing gratitude rewires your brain to be more optimistic and spend less time on pessimism and cynical thoughts.
So grateful for everything that the universe has put out there for us. So grateful that we get to be able to live this kind of life. The universe just really paid big dividends.
It's a wonderful thing for your mind to have both acceptance and gratitude. Just ask any Zen master. And then there's the beauty of flow state. Now, what is flow state? Think of it as that experience when you're totally absorbed with the task at hand. You can have it when you're reading or doing art, making music, making love, or riding a bicycle. It's when you lose complete track of time because you're so focused on what you're doing. Physically, it increases your levels of dopamine, a neurotransmitter responsible for pleasure, relaxation, and peace of mind. Flow state helps you be more focused, more productive, more regulated in your emotions. Not just while you're writing, but throughout your life. The more time that you spend in flow state, the better your brain works in all ways. There are a number of things in my life that get me to this state, but few activities take me there as fully as spending day after day riding a bicycle. So let's talk about how the zen of bicycle touring works for the body. It should seem obvious that cycling 30 to 50 miles a day on a loaded bicycle is going to be great for your health. Few exercises are as good for you at building strength and cardio health with low impact to your bones and your joints than bicycling. Science also tells us that cycling provides multiple, less obvious benefits, including lower risk of Alzheimer's disease, cancer, premature death, cardiovascular disease, arthritis, heart attack, anxiety and depression, and not surprisingly, obesity. One look at the people of Amsterdam, for example, and you can see the benefits of cycling on the health of a community. Then there is the cardio aspect. In Zen, the benefits of deep breathing are well known. Meditation, yoga, they're all about breathing. The consistent energy required to move your loaded bike across the landscape means you're constantly in a state of deep breathing.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
The kind of breathing that's recommended for cyclists is the same as used for yoga and meditation. Deep belly breathing, engaging the diaphragm, instead of shallow breathing. And aligning your breath to the pedal strokes, and getting all that in unison, gives you added strength on the trail, and creates a consistency and a flow that will have a lifetime of benefits for your cardiovascular health. Other physical benefits include things like improved coordination and balance, something us older folks can always use a lot more of. All this while fully engaged in a pleasurable outdoor activity. Your body's health is a valuable part of an integrated state of well-being. And yes, the Zen of bicycle touring definitely helps you gain those benefits in a big way. Okay, now we get to the fun stuff. Bicycle touring is not only great for your mind and your body, but for your spirit as well. But first, what's spirit anyway? My online dictionary defines spirit as the non-physical part of a person which is the seat of emotions and character, the soul. We seek harmony between body and spirit. So it's different from the mind in that it engages our emotions in the way that we feel. I guess you could think of it as the true essence of ourselves. And when we're disconnected from our spirit, like when we pursue unhealthy things that aren't nourishing our deeper needs, we sense a loss of meaning in our lives. All I know is when I'm not writing, I get depressed, I get anxious, I get angsty. And when I do get back in the saddle, I feel all that nasty energy just kind of fade away. And here's where bicycle touring and regular cycling differ. In bicycle touring, you spend days on end, mile after mile, just taking in the world around you. Over the course of a month or two, you can feel the changes in nature, the angle of the sun as it changes day after day, the phases of the moon, the gradual shift of the seasons. We often spend our lives in climate-controlled settings, indoors and away from nature. To take time to engage with nature has a profound and very positive effect on your spirit. To physically feel the changing contours of the land, the climbs, the descents, to feel that in your muscles, is to intrinsically feel the world around us, to experience the change in flora as you ride from region to region.
I believe that those are pine trees ahead. We got our first sight of the Rocky Mountain Forest and the sign that the desert is close to being behind us.
The shifts in climate, even the way the clouds are different from place to place, is to experience nature in a real and personal way. Bicycle touring helps you appreciate how big the world is and how small we are in comparison. We often spend our lives immersed in a news media that seems to sow seeds of doubt. until we find ourselves fearful of outsiders, distrustful of that which we're not familiar. Bicycle touring lets us meet people and see others for the way that they are, and not the way that media might portray them. We connect with people of all stripes, all beliefs, and all cultures. We learn to appreciate the differences and appreciate the similarities. We gain a sense of belonging. We often spend our lives in kind of mindless ritual, doing more or less the same thing day after day, dulling our curiosity and stifling our creativity. Bicycle touring is all about exploration and adventure, honing our spirits and invigorating our sense of wonder. We often spend our lives just, adulting, going from one responsibility to the next, always juggling priorities, and we wonder why our lives are so stressful. By refocusing our energy to the here and now, bicycle touring lets us see through the eyes of a child. Just getting on a bike makes us feel like a child again. Now, there's a lot of paths to enlightenment, I suppose, but for me, nothing does a better job of bringing together all the parts of my being in a positive way than bicycle touring.
This is about, experiencing the world, feeling the feels, feeling this crisp, cold October air on your ears, smelling the forest decaying, hearing the leaves crunch under your tires. It's a full sensory experience, and you just want to take it all in. We're just trying to get the most out of this day, and just appreciate all of it. Makes me feel so alive. It's just so real.
You want to lose stress and gain gratitude and get happier? You want to get stronger, more in tune with your body, to see life from a fresh perspective? Get more in tune with your curious side? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the way forward. Now, it may not be the only way forward, but take a bike tour sometime.
All right, 1 mile down, 3,999 to go.
Here we go!
Here we go. Woo!
Find your moment of Zen and see for yourself all the ways that it can make your life a little or a lot healthier, more centered, and more meaningful.
And here it is. Your moment is Zen.
Now, if you've made it this far and you're still with me, take a moment and subscribe. We have all kinds of videos for people who are just looking for more information on bicycle touring, as well as for more experienced cyclists who are just looking for some really cool places to ride. Wherever you fit in, we hope your journey is long and full of discovery. Happy trails!